Sorry for the enormously disappointing mystery surprise. I will do my best to make this a very entertaining and exciting talk. We'll see when we get these slides up here. Just for kind of background, our team at Lightning Labs has been, building the Lightning Network and the software underpinning the Lightning Network since, 2015, right, is when they first started. I think the first seed round was in 2016 with Elizabeth and Lalo. And so to see it come this far, to see nation state adoption in 2015, and then to come here in person and see everything mostly working is just incredibly inspiring and incredibly exciting and empowering for our team. So, let's get a round of applause for all the teams on the ground here. Galloy, who got things started, Ebex Mercado, OpenNode, I'm sure Bitrefill is doing a ton. It's amazing to see the adoption here. So today I'm going to talk to you about the Lightning Network and about scaling financial services on Bitcoin. And like Stefan said, I'm Ryan Gentry, the Director of BD at Lightning Labs. Do I have a clicker? I do have a clicker. I could spend this conversation talking to you about how the Lightning Network is a transportation network for Satoshis, software overlay over the main blockchain that's composed of nodes and channels. And within these channels, there are these economic problems with liquidity that Lightning Labs is trying to solve. And in order to solve these problems and have this network grow in a truly decentralized, organic manner, the strategy that we're taking is building, price signals into the network and markets to coordinate all that sort of stuff. But, that's kind of boring. It's kind of technical, and this is the ECON talk room, not the dev talk room. So instead, what I'm going to talk to you is about Bitcoin and what it really represents. Bitcoin is freedom money, right? This is money that is designed for the self-sovereign individual that you can spend without anybody telling you not to, that you can save without anybody debasing you, and that you could earn without anybody's permission. So what financial services truly are we scaling to the rest of the world with Lightning? These are freedoms, right? It's freedom to spend, it's freedom to save, and it's freedom to earn. And so what I'm excited to talk to you about today is examples of all of these that are happening in real life today, right now, with software and a network that's only 5 years old and has only been on mainnet for 3 years, right? So I think it's incredible to think about the progression and especially to think about where we're going to be in 5 to 10 years. The genesis from this talk was a month ago. I was in Miami at the Oslo Freedom Forum. And the Oslo Freedom Forum, if you're not familiar, is put on by the Human Rights Foundation. It is a collection of freedom fighters, of dissidents, of NGOs, and different people who, are fighting for freedom around the world. And so my kind of talk when I would go and introduce myself to these freedom fighters, and Alex Gladstein at the Human Rights Foundation invited something like 70 Bitcoiners to this forum. So my thing when I would go and introduce myself to people is ask, what is your cause? And there were people from, Bolivia, from Myanmar, from Belarus, from all around the world. What is your cause? And then after hearing what they were doing, ask, what are your interactions with the local banking system like? And it was amazing how every single person, and I probably talked to 30, 40 people from 30, 40 different countries, they all had the exact same answer. They're like, oh, it's terrible, right? They arbitrarily freeze our accounts, they harass our donors, they straight up steal money from our accounts. It's a nightmare, but there's nothing that we can do about it. And so then, of course, the third question was, have you heard about Bitcoin? With varying success, generally there were some that were aware of it, some that were using it, but it was a little too user unfriendly, not quite easy enough for them yet. But after kind of pitching them and talking to them about how you actually are exactly the people that Bitcoin is designed to help. It is you who are underbanked and need the right to be sovereign with your money. They really started to get it. And so just a couple stories from them that I thought was really interesting was there was this freedom fighter in Myanmar who there was a coup going on in their country, and so they were trying to help people out to escape the violence, and they needed funding to be able to do that, to pay people for passage out of their cities and into neighboring countries, and the bank froze their accounts. and wouldn't let them use their money to help these people escape from violence that was not of their own doing. And it was just like, amazing to hear that this NGO was saying, yeah, we don't have the freedom to spend our own money. And I think that's one of the things that I consistently said over and over again was, oh, so you deeply understand that when you give your money over to a bank, like it's no longer yours, right? It's the bank's money. And they said, yeah, absolutely. I don't have the freedom to spend it as I would like. And then I think I have a lot of tweets in here from El Salvador in particular, but think also about Milton Cabrera here. Prior to the Bitcoin bill and to Lightning coming into his village, he would have to spend 4 hours once a month just traveling to be able to pay his bills in person. Think about like the time sink and the energy sink that would take on you if once a month on a Saturday you had to set aside half a day just to hop on a bus to pay your bills with a check, right? Now, because he has a smartphone, because he has the internet, because he has electricity, he can do that instantly from his phone with Bitcoin. And that's 4 hours of his time per month that he gets back just from this one example, not to mention all of the other things. And I think that's freedom that Bitcoin is providing to him, Bitcoin and Lightning in particular. As well, importantly, as we're all here and we've heard a bunch of great talks today about the economics of Bitcoin, Bitcoin provides the freedom to save. Jose here, had previously been using fiat money and running his business and not really having the ability to save and accumulate capital to deploy to improve his business. But with Bitcoin and the price depreciation and the freedom to save it without debasement by a central bank, he's able to accept payments, save his money, buy and hold the best asset, and then deploy that capital to improve his business. And this is like the dream. This is what it's all about. This is how small businesses work. As we see here, and I'm sure you've seen this chart before, there is nowhere to hide from central banks if you're using fiat dollars, fiat money. The only place that you can hide and really protect yourself is within the Bitcoin protocol. And that's something that now, again, is available to anybody with an internet connection, anybody with electricity, anybody with a smartphone, thanks to Bitcoin and thanks to the Lightning Network. Finally, I will just never get over this. Negative interest rates. In Germany, one of like the premier and most advanced countries on the planet. Giving your money over to a bank instead of holding it with your own private keys, and they're charging you for the ability to store numbers in a database representing your account balance, right? It doesn't make any sense. We can do better. We can give people the freedom to save if they would like, instead of encouraging them and incentivizing them to spend. And then finally, freedom to earn. I thought this was incredibly inspiring and a great, shout out to the Bitcoin Beach Wallet and Galoy. Mario here in El Zante, this picture went viral where you can see down at the bottom that QR code representing, his account on Bitcoin Beach. Bitcoin Twitter caught a hold of this and said, hey, let's do a challenge and see how many sats we can send to him over the Lightning Network. $1,000 in 5 days. Imagine if you were to earn in 5 days 3 times your average monthly salary from strangers over the internet from 20 different countries, right? Imagine that, and that's life-changing stuff. And it was just because of the ease in which Bitcoin and the Lightning Network in particular makes it to where you just have to scan a QR code with your phone, press a couple buttons, and boom, value is zipped over the internet within seconds. I think this is just like, an amazing ability where he was not able prior to the Lightning Network to earn from anybody who was not physically in person. And now his addressable market of people who could pay him for services is now the entire planet, anybody with an internet connection. Of course, one thing that always cracks me up, Western Union was founded in 1856 to productize the telegraph. And they're still around seeking rents on the remittance industry. It is like high time that this company who's been an institution and done like a lot of good for the world, blah, 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 it's high time that they get disrupted. But it wasn't until, Bitcoin 2021, when Bitcoin was made legal tender and the remittance story like really caught hold with people that they realized, oh, we have the technology now. We can send value globally across borders instantly with almost zero fees. We just have to use the Lightning Network to do so. $400 million a year now taken out of Western Union's pockets and put into the pockets of citizens of El Salvador. I think that that's just incredible. And this is freedom to earn. This is a freedom that's being introduced by the adoption of this new technology of Bitcoin and of the Lightning Network. A couple more examples here. This one I think is particularly cool. So company Stack, unfortunately Paul Latoy couldn't make it, the founder of Stack couldn't make it with us this week. But Stack is a company that, if you're familiar with Mechanical Turk, they have a lot of micro tasks that you can do, people do in their spare time if they want to earn, for tagging pictures for machine learning, you can make 5 cents or something like that for 10 seconds of work or something. I don't know what the numbers are. So Stack has the ability where anybody, anywhere with a smartphone can sign up to do these jobs, to do these micro tasks. And the really cool thing is Stack doesn't know who their workers are, but they're able to pay them out for doing these tasks trustlessly, trust minimized way, and they're employing 20,000 people all across the world for outsourcing these jobs for these cloud computing companies in Silicon Valley, right? This is like an interesting arbitrage where, thanks to the Lightning Network, these cloud computing companies are able to spread some of the value that they're creating out to people in the Philippines and Argentina, all around the world for doing these tasks that anybody with a smartphone can do. And they're able to pay them directly, instantly, and with very few fees, thanks to Lightning Network. And I think the absolute coolest part about this is that these payments, you do the task and you're paid instantly. This isn't like you have to wait a month for your salary. So if all of a sudden, you're short on cash and you need to buy gas for a trip to the hospital or something like that, you can go in and rack up, a bunch of work and have the sats directly on your phone immediately. No waiting time at all. And that's just like a brand new freedom to earn that hasn't been possible before. Zedee as well, Michael Tidwell is here from Zedee. They're introducing the freedom to earn by playing games. This play to earn craze that's happening. People are earning sats over the Lightning Network just for playing in video games and competing to win, and they're able to pay their bills with them, right? Introducing kind of like a secondary job market for those who have developed the skill in playing these various games, and they're able to earn and solve real world problems with this technology. And I think this is, again, just an incredible new thing that is only due to the freedoms introduced by Bitcoin and by the Lightning Network. And so, finally, Chris Hunter from Galloy, I think, has a better chart than this that he showed this morning. But if you're familiar with the theories of diffusion of innovation, new technologies go through this trend where they're first adopted by the innovators, then by the early adopters. There's this chasm that needs to be crossed before getting to the early majority who expect this technology to just work, TM. And I think, debates about whether we're not crossed the chasm yet, whether we already have crossed the chasm, but I think the one thing, that Chris said this morning that's absolutely true is that it's just a testament to how amazing this technology is. Their early adopters include Twitter and the nation of El Salvador, right? The sky is going to be the limit once we get into the pragmatists and the conservatives. So we're early, but and this chart from the Arcane research report shows kind of thinking that we're in the early adopter phase right now. I wrote in our newsletter, lightninglabs.substack.com. Don't forget to subscribe. I wrote in our newsletter that I actually think this is a lagging indicator. I think we're pretty far ahead of this. I think the early adopters have been here for a couple of years, and that this is just the rest of the world catching up to the innovation that we have going on. But again, Twitter, El Salvador, that's pretty exciting, pretty encouraging developments. And the opportunity is immense, right? One stat that I like to give when I'm talking to investors, fintech people, Wall Street folks about the potential for the Lightning Network. In 2020, Visa and MasterCard combined did $16 trillion in volume, payment volume. And that is the right comparison for the Lightning Network, which best estimates, we'll see. This is very much finger in the air kind of assumptions, but best estimates is maybe the Lightning Network this year will do about $100 million in volume, right? So the upside here is that's a lot of orders of magnitude. We got to go before we're equivalent with the technology that we're seeking to disrupt, the payment networks we're seeking to disrupt. So if this is something that excites you, if this is a mission that you think is worth pursuing, I promise you, every Lightning Network company is hiring right now. We would love to, we need your help. We would love to have your help. There's a ton of upside left, and we're really kind of just getting started in terms of how this thing is going to change the world. So thank you very much. That's all I have for you today, and enjoy the rest of the week.